Yeah. Oh, for God's sake. Yes, live streamed. I get it. Oh, look, there we are.
All right. All right. Looks like to me that we're live streaming. Live streaming? Live streaming? What are we doing?
People are usually live screaming at us for the live streaming we're doing.
Yes. Yes. Well, hey, I got something we're going to try right now since we're officially live.
Well, hold on. Let me put the link on the page so that people can see it with their eyes.
Well, I mean, as far as like a listening pleasure, I don't think we need to stop talking during our live stream while you put the link to the live stream, right?
I don't know. This is my first time. Be gentle.
I don't know how this works. I'm very excited though. I have something I want to try today, and I don't know if it'll work or not. So it could be
better
the
buy me dinner
thing.
first.
It could be the coolest thing we've ever done, or it just won't work at all. So
look, dude, neither one of us are cool, have ever been cool, or will ever be cool. So we're gonna go with the option 2 on that one.
I don't know. Speak for yourself. I have a sweet Judge Dredd sweater that I'm wearing right now. It feels pretty fucking cool. No, actually, it doesn't. It's dorky. Hey, what do you think? Let me know when it's up because I'm going to do this thing and it's going to be awesome.
Link is hot.
Link is hot. All right. Let's see what happens here. Before we start, let me just go ahead and push this button. I'm going to push a button.
What the fuck is happening? This is
Cursed Earth Radio.
What's up, Dark Judges, Desperados, and Dudes in Dick-shaped helmets? You're listening to Cursed Earth Radio, the one and only podcast bringing Dredd to the Dreadless live.
Broadcasting outside the walls of Mega City 1 across the Black Atlantic in North America. I'm Cool Johnny Cool.
And my name is Heavy Metal Kid.
And this is awful, but we're doing Prog. It's 2258 first. We're going to check in on the wrap-up of Judge Dredd Tread Softly, the second episode of The Diabolic's London Calling. Dexter's back, and it's confusing me more. Scarlet Traces even more so. And Sid does the sex in the Outbook, too.
Wow. I know you got more, but
keep listening, creeps.
That's where we're at right now.
Don't ever do that again. That sounded
awesome.
Fuck awful.
I mean, you're not listening to it. It may have sounded amazing. It may have been an amazing mix. It may have been a perfect effect.
No, it wasn't. You know what? That sounded like when I was a kid and I was trying to tape a song off of MTV with my radio because they wouldn't play it on the radio. And I had the speaker right next to this on my radio, right next to the speaker on the TV. And it sounded just like that. Fucking
awesome. I'm sorry. I didn't know we were going for quality on this podcast. I had listened to the last 100 podcasts we did and got the impression that we were just fucking off here.
Well, look, I got a memo from corporate and they said, you got to fucking at least try.
Oh, well, I mean, I brought a sample. That's trying, right?
You're very trying. That sweater is exceedingly trying. Holy shit, that's ugly.
I for anybody who's listening, I bought one of the Judge Dredd Christmas sweaters from our friends over at Rebellion. And I'm happy to say it wasn't a whole bunch. Like there wasn't some crazy import fee and it got here real quick. So I think Rebellion must have a shipping department in the US, even though I paid British pounds for it.
Even though it's not us.
I got the black and white in case anybody's wondering. And I'll tell you this, if you've been thinking about ordering, so I was reading the sizes and I was like, man, those sizes sound snug. They sound tightish, you know? And I know one thing about these all over print sort of shirts, it's like they don't have a lot of stretch and a lot of give. And so I was like, call me crazy, but I feel like I need to order a 2X. And I wear a size large t-shirt. And it got here and yeah, I mean, I could have fit into an XL for sure. But if you want a nice large Christmas sweatery feel, go like 2 sizes up because man, they're fitted differently than a normal sweatshirt or a hoodie. So
anytime I order a shirt or a piece of clothing from Europe, I always go up a size or 2 because they like them snug over there. And I don't know why.
Well, they're not a country full of big fat people. I think that's the problem,
Well, I mean, we don't have the market cornered on that. We are leading the race, but I don't think we've got the market cornered.
Right. I mean, I feel like, we're like every other country, it's like we're going by and you're like, hey, I'm looking for America. Have you seen America? And they're like, no, no. And then they're like, wait a minute. Was America a great big fat person? And we're like, yeah, that's us, man.
It's that guy on the motor scooter over there, the fat people
Yeah.
mover.
On the guy with the belly wheel.
Hey, do you want to start with actual Judge Dredd news? Because I think we both can this week.
Yeah, I think so. There's some sad Judge Dredd news. What is that what you're thinking of?
Well, I was going for the happier Judge Dredd news. I'm sure you saw it, and I've been messaged by multiple people. Hiya Toys will be bringing us 4-inch and I believe was it 6-inch or 8-inch scale Judge Dredd and Judge Death toys next year.
Yes, 4 and 6, and I will certainly purchase them.
As will I.
And I will say that I'm not a big fan of the way Judge Dredd looks, but that doesn't stop me from buying one of everything. I've been spoiled by the 3A Judge Dredd. I don't know that you can get much better than those.
Well, I mean, that's 1/12, 1/6 scale, so they can pack a lot of detail in there.
Yeah.
He looks pretty good for the scale he is.
Yeah, I'm not in love with the look of it, but I will buy it because it's Dredd, and we don't get enough.
And we are
Dredd.
Consumer whores.
That's true, and also I should go ahead and just say this because it's related, but unrelated at the same time, I guess. A friend of the show, Rick Jackson, sent me a nice link to a fantastic looking martial law print. This is Super Babylon print signed by Kevin O'Neill, and you can get this at GOSH London, GoshLondon.com for 45 hooky dollar mark. I'm guessing that's whatever
pounds.
Pounds.
Holy, wait. That is my new favorite thing. We have the dollar sign, and the UK has the hooky dollar sign.
Yes, the hooky dollar mark. It's a really, really fucking cool looking martial law print signed by Kevin O'Neill, and the price for in my world is not much, and you're talking A3 size, which is, I don't remember what size that is, but it's big enough for me, limited to 50, and they still have some left.
Well, go get it.
Have some left.
Go get it. Did you go get it?
Oh yeah. 100%. And for me, like I have a tiny collection of martial law. Oh no. I have a tiny I have a tiny collection of martial law items, and for me, it's just like the Dredd stuff. I'm just excited that any of it exists.
Yep.
So yeah, worth your time. What else do you have Dredd wise? Because there's even more 2018 news that I thought the saddest of the sad.
Well, you go ahead and deliver that punch since we're having a good time. Why don't you shit all over it?
Yeah, and we may have even mentioned it last week, but it got reinforced this week for me, is that Warlord Games did not pick up the license to the Judge Dredd miniatures game. Not surprised, and I'm going to go ahead and just say it's really COVID's fault on this one. It's really COVID's fault.
Why would you even pull the license from them or not give them another chance? Because what they have done with it has been amazing.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I feel like it's almost like they should get a do-over because they were doing the game right. And I mean,
definitely.
Like, you really got to take this into account, man, because you and I are just two friends trying to play Judge Dredd game together, the two of us, and we couldn't even get together during COVID. So expand that to entire comic shops and gaming groups. And I mean, it was pretty serious business to where it shut down. Like, I had an in-house game night every Wednesday, and we couldn't even keep that up. So, it's kind of a bummer. Like, once again, the cool Judge Dredd thing that we all were hoping for is eliminated by something outside of our of our control. Just like I really believe the Judge Dredd 2012 film is the same way. There were all these extenuating circumstances that kind of fucked it. And so here we are again.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that everybody at Warlord loved the IP, loved the product, and really put everything into it. And it's amazing. I can't understand I know business is business, but you're already a niche product to begin with. Why would you look at what Warlord has done and go, yeah, we're not going to let you renew the contract, or we're going to make it fiscally impossible for you to renew the contract?
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't know all the behind the scenes things, but not renewing that with Warlord seems like a bad move.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer, man. I mean, I know like 2000 AD's got to make their money on their IPs, and maybe someone else is interested, but it's like, I don't know, unfortunate circumstances for everyone around.
Yeah.
And, I even feel, guilty myself because I was buying a lot of stuff. Then when we weren't able to play, I kind of quit buying stuff because it's like, well, we're not sitting down at the table. I'm not painting anything because we don't have any games coming up. So, I was part of that too, but I bought in heavy and I was like really hoping to stick with it. And what's going to happen for those of you that do play the Judge Dredd miniatures game, you probably got to go out and buy all those most recent sets, because those are the ones that are going to be real super hard to come by anymore.
Yep. I don't know if they're going to cut production or just stop where they are, but yeah, the last couple sets that they put out are going to be the hardest to find, which means Dirty Frank is going to be a collector's item.
Yeah. Get you some fatties while you can.
That's about as bad a move as putting Stallone in a Dredd movie.
Yeah. A terrible move.
100%. Like they're neck and neck right there. So maybe Tharg will hear our words and fix this.
Yeah. We can only hope. Whatever little bit of influence we have, all of our as we right now with 0 listeners, with 1 watching now.
That might be me.
Yeah. It's possible. So that's the bad news out of the way. What else has been going on with you, man?
Well, the daughter, and I went to see Ghostbusters Afterlife last Saturday. No joke, I fucking cried at that movie.
Oh wow.
I cried because Ghostbusters is such an integral part of my childhood and my wife's childhood, and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but my God, it really it's great. It fixed all the problems that happened in 2016, and it put everything back on track, and it was a fan service movie 100%, and I'm fine with that because it needed to be, but it put everything back on track, and it paid homage to Harold Ramis, who unfortunately passed in 2014. But man, it was fun. And yeah. I did not like the 2016 Ghostbusters because it was all ladies. I didn't like it because it wasn't a good movie. It was not well put together. It was a remake that nobody in the fandom wanted, and they rammed it through anyway, and it fell on its face, much like the RoboCop remake or the Total Recall remake. Don't take these beloved movies and go, here's a remake, and expect everybody to go, okay, when we know that, there is a third Ghostbusters movie that never got made it anyway, that's what we wanted. You can't go, oh, here's not that, but here's this. And we think this is what you want.
Yeah. It's interesting as fans, when they bring stuff back, it seems so simple because people just want a very simple sort of like approach to things. And it always baffles me when these companies try to go in some crazy forced radical attempt to kind of like, have a real cynical approach at not giving a shit about the original material. And like, we're going to make it better and improve upon it. And it's like, they forget that like the reason this stuff has a fan base to begin with, is you know, because it's exactly what it needs to be, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, I would have been fine with 2016 if it was the surviving Ghostbusters, like Venkman, Stans, and Zeddemore training the new crew. You know, that would have been fine. I would have been okay with that. But no, they just said, we're just going to remake it and we're going to play to this audience now. But none of us wanted that.
Yeah.
And you're totally ignoring the fan base. Jason Reitman listened to the fan base on this one and nailed it. And I was crying. I looked over and my wife's tearing up. And it was so fun. And I can't remember if I said it on the last episode, but I backed the HasLab Spengler Proton Pack, and I'm waiting for that to close out to see where we lock up with our stretch goals. I check it every day. I'm so excited. I won't get it until 2023, but I'm checking every day.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I know, I know from being a fan of many things like you are that excitement can be hard to come by some days. And, you know, anytime you can just have that thing to look forward to is a good day. That's really what it's all about.
I'm grabbing on the dopamine and serotonin when and where I can right now.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Grabbing on and holding on for dear life. And unfortunate news, I found out my band is very influenced by a band called Turbo Negro from Norway. They are the founders of the death punk genre. They are amazing and will subvert all your expectations in a very, very great way. The most famous of their lead singers, Hank Von Hell, unfortunately passed away suddenly last Friday. And I'm still not taking it well. Band practice was real somber last Sunday. You know, our guiding denim cloaked light was gone.
Yeah, I saw that too. And, you know, knowing I'm, you know, I have 2 Turbo Negro records, both of which were given to me by you. And I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know enough about it to know that he had a history of substance abuse. And I just hope that was not what ended up getting him at the end. But we also know that sometimes that's part of that lifestyle, you know?
Yeah. They have not released a cause, and my wife had asked me if they had, and I said, at this point, it doesn't matter. He's gone, and that's the worst of it. He had been clean for a while, and he had actually been very big in suicide prevention and awareness in recent years. He released a single last year called I See a Darkness, which was a very moving song about suicide and suicide prevention. And I believe he donated the profits to Suicide Prevention Foundation. And yeah, it was a rough one because we didn't see it coming. None of us did. And so we have a show Saturday, and I will be full denimed up in Hank's honor. We shove some Turbo Negro into the set because it has to be done. And I believe we're going to be recording a bunch of covers when we hit the studio next year.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good way to keep it going, man. 100%.
I think that's all I've got. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, that's all I've got too. Nothing else of any importance. We've got our Great American Thanksgiving.
Only in America will we celebrate and pretend to be thankful on Thursday, and then slit each other's throat on Friday at retail for a semi-soft sale.
Oh man, let me tell you. Speaking of semi-soft, your
tiny penis.
I love a good Black Friday, man. Black Friday for me is a place of zen. It's a place of meditation. My wife and I go and we buy coffee and we go amongst the chaos and we wander. We walk around amongst people.
You're going to the zoo.
Yeah, no, this year I don't know that that's going to be the thing because COVID has been it's not over. And I was painfully reminded a couple of days ago when I got a regular cold and decided to just be on the cautious side and go get a COVID test. And I did, and I'm fine and no COVID, but having that thing stuck into my brain and reacting like the only way I can describe my reaction, I thought I was just going to sit there, but then when the swab went into my nose and went up into my brain, I reacted like someone had cast a demon out of me. And I was hacking and coughing and leaving, walking out the door, apologizing to the lady. And she was unfazed because I think she's seen enough people have that same COVID reaction or COVID test reaction that was just like any other day to her.
It's sad that that's become routine.
Yeah, 100%. So let's get into the progs, man. I went ahead, since we're doing a live stream, I just went ahead and put both progs in the description. I still don't know how this whole thing is going to go with us recording these last few live. So it's just going to be interesting. But it's like, hey, we're talking about the progs. 2258, 2259 today. We tried to get together last week, but schedules just once again weren't lining up. And why not just go ahead and talk about what we read in both progs here in this one handy episode. I mean, I think people come here for our charming personalities anyway. They don't care.
I think people get lost and just stumble in.
Yeah.
What is this train wreck? Let's sit here and watch this.
Yeah. So what do you think, man? What do you think about the well, let's start. I guess I can't ask you about the arc of the story altogether. There's one thing in these two progs that I'm so super excited to talk about, but let's start.
I think I know what it is. You're excited that the order's coming back.
Oh God, no, man. Oh man, I saw that and
I laughed so hard.
I am questioning whether or not I'm going to even give that one a shot. I don't know. I know I have to, for the listeners out there, for your sake, because I don't want to make you go through it alone, but I am really not looking forward to the Return of the Order. Oh my God.
I knew it was Francis Bacon the whole time.
Don't you fucking start. Look, don't you fucking start. Okay. So.
Oh, hey, wait. I do have one more thing. Before we start this shit. My esteemed co-host entered his 40s this past weekend.
I did. Yes, I did. My birthday was the 21st of November. And as I did 10 years ago,
as an older gentleman.
Did I tell you about this? I don't think I told you.
Is this the one where you turn 30 and put a burrito on your crotch?
No, that was a whole different thing. That is a true story, though.
I know. I've heard it.
No. So on the eve of my 30th birthday, I was lucky enough to have tickets to go see my favorite thrash metal band of all time, the people who brought us Judge Dredd, Anthrax. And I went on my 30th birthday. I got in the mosh pit and I was there all night. Death Angel, Testament, Anthrax. I was moshing for the entirety of the Anthrax set, singing along, having the best time of my life with people younger than me, with people older than me, because an Anthrax crowd is very diverse. So that was the last day of my 29th year on the planet. I woke up the next day, 30 years old, couldn't move. It was almost like I just aged overnight. My back hurt. I could barely get out of bed. I shuffled out of the bed, was headed out to work, fell down a hill. This is the worst day of my life. It was like the world was saying, welcome to your 30s, fuck you. So lo and behold, the night before my 40th birthday, I had tickets to another thrash metal show, unplanned, and getting ready to leave to go see this show. In this case, it was Dead Heat, Municipal Waste, Skeletal Remains, and Crowbar.
I do love me some Municipal Waste.
Yes. And Municipal Waste was headlining. I was really going to see Dead Heat and some Municipal Waste. The other two bands are okay, but I'm getting ready to go out, and I realize, oh my God, I'm here again, 10 years later, going to this thrash metal show. And right then and there, I heard my phone ringing, Johnny. My phone's ringing, and I walk over and I pick it up, and it's a number that I don't recognize.
Tell me it's Jeff Gaylord.
It's not Jeff Gaylord. No, he has called me before.
I know.
I don't recognize this phone number. It's from out of town. Older. I pick it up and I say hello, and they're like, "Oh, hello. Is this Heavy Metal Kid?" And I'm like, "Yeah, who's this?" And they're like, "This is the Gods of War." And I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't heard from you in 10 years. And they said, yes, tonight we're calling you back into the mosh pit for your 40th birthday. And when the gods of war call you, Johnny, you have to oblige. So I went into my, I've grown up a lot since I turned 30. My heavy metal vest that I wear now has a single patch on the back of it. I hung that up. I went back to the closet and I pulled out my 25-year-old thrash metal vest, stained, full of patches, with my big Anthrax back patch on. And I put it on and I headed out, fully knowing that I was going to spend the entire night in the pit, giving blood to the blood gods, war to the war gods. And I spent the last night of my 30th birthday in the mosh pit with municipal waste. And about halfway through, I'm tall. I'm really tall. So
you're a very tall person.
When you're in the mosh pit and you're a very tall person, you never get hit in the face, but you always get hit in the ribs. And I was rammed into at such a velocity that I knew my ribs were broken. 100% broken ribs. I've had broken ribs before. And I knew right then and there, oh my God, my ribs, because I felt it. I heard it. They were broken.
Oh,
but I've had broken ribs before. And you know what they tell you when you have broken ribs?
Don't breathe.
Just keep doing what you're doing. And there's nothing we can do. And so I just stayed. I guarded my ribs, but I managed to make it through the entirety of the mosh pit with my injured ribs. I had a blast, and it was the most rejuvenating thing that I've done in a long time. So
how are your ribs now?
They hurt like hell, and they only hurt when I breathe and sleep on them and lay down
and exist.
Yes,
they only hurt when I exist.
Yes. But I so this is my speculation based on previous broken ribs. I kind of know what they feel like. I know what happens. So I haven't gone to go because I know what they're going to tell me. Do you want pain meds? No. Do you want to? And that's it. They don't wrap it. They don't do anything.
Yeah, you can't cast broken ribs. I can't wait to see you handle the show on the 11th.
Yeah, no, I have a show this weekend too. So. But that again, if you're standing up, broken ribs are not as bad as if you're laying down. It's a whole thing.
Well, I wish you luck.
We'll see.
Aging warrior.
Yes, but it did my soul good to answer the call of the gods of war. Now, when I'm 50, I have to do it again.
Your corporeal form, not so much, but your spiritual form, yeah.
And I have to say, I think it has reawakened something in me because I've been really just been thinking about needing more of that.
Well, I don't know if you could take much more of that.
We'll find out.
Oh. Anyway, so back to Francis Bacon.
No.
Did you say no?
No.
All right, so what did you think of our Tread Softly wrap up for Judge Dredd?
I'll tell you, for me this week, it's not
last week, as it were.
Yeah, it's not last week's Dredd that really got me excited. Although I thought it was a fine story, but I wasn't blown away by it. I think we're kind of setting the stage for something else.
Oh yeah, because we got another badge Dredd can trust.
Yeah,
that's coming back.
Yeah,
we're gonna see like a story a year from now. We're gonna, who is Van Zura? We're gonna look and go, oh yeah, that's when Tread Softly. That's when Dredd learned he could trust her because she evaluated him and she was honest. And
yeah, we're just planting little seeds here and there. It's a building block. I guess that's what we can say. That's what we can say about this one is just it's a building block. So
as soon as I got to the end of it, I was like, yeah, we're gonna see this in a year or two, or maybe 5, whenever.
I did definitely like the idea that Dredd called her in to do his evaluation. I thought that was cool.
He's building his cadre that he can trust and rely upon. I mean, because inevitably we'll go back to Carry the Nine again with Maitland, where he's learning to trust her. So there's a long game behind all of this. And I wonder if Wagner's orchestrating everything with all the authors.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's, I don't know. From what I have heard about John Wagner in the past, it's like he just does whatever he wants. And then he's like, fuck you guys. Now go fix your stories.
It must be nice to be the king.
Yeah. Yes. Side note, we have someone in the chat. Ethan in the chat says he was not even aware that the Judge Dredd miniatures game existed. And actually, if you're listening, you can see a playthrough with some rules mistakes. But hey, it's all about fun on this channel. in our video list, there's some playthroughs of that Judge Dredd miniatures game and of quite a few other Judge Dredd board game sort of related videos, including really, really old stuff. So, and why not? And if you're listening to this on Podomatic, if this ever goes up on Podomatic, go over to our YouTube Cursed Earth Radio page and check out all that stuff there. So, and
buy the Warlord while you can, because it's amazing. And once it's gone, I can only assume that the secondary market price is going to go bonkers.
Yep. Definitely can say that from having been the person who had to pay almost $100 for the Judda figures from the old school Dredd game. So
you and your sociopathic Easter eggs.
Yeah. So hey, what about the Diabolics?
Man, I'm enjoying this story. Like I said, I think it was the last episode that even without our man Salvatore, who is without his fizzle, I'm still in on this. I love the fact that we have occult punk rock, dark magic infused paraphernalia that we must go recover.
Yeah, that kind of got me. I like that idea. The knife that killed Nancy, the Sid and Nancy knife. I like that. I'm still having a little trouble warming up to this guy. I'm just such a huge fan of Salvatore and his broken pizzle. Huge fan.
Well, it's not broken, it's just gone.
His pizzle no work, he said.
Well, yeah, because via its absence altogether, it doesn't work.
Right. So, it's still, I don't know. I can't say that I'm in love with this story arc like I am for our main story arc, but I think, I have enough faith in the process of the Diabolics that what's going to happen is eventually this whole thing is going to sort of come back to, it's going to come back around, and all of a sudden everything's going to tie in together. And this guy that we've been following around for a little while is going to sort of take his place in the group. And so, yeah, no problems reading the Diabolics and continuing on with it. Like, I certainly enjoy it. But as far as that goes, like, I just kind of miss I miss our main group.
Well, I just remember Avengers West Coast.
Yeah, I know.
ForceWorks.
And also, you're totally speaking my language there, because I'm a huge ForceWorks fan. For the fact that ForceWorks were the guys that, I'm a big fan of like B teams. I like B teams. And I think maybe that's
our podcast.
Yeah, we have 100%. Yeah, we're the B team podcast. But I
think
maybe
we're that high.
Maybe that's part of the issue here, is that it's not necessarily the B team. It's just like the B guy. I feel like I don't know. I'm struggling with this one right now, but again, I have enough faith in the writers of the Diabolics. I love this comic. I look forward to it. I wouldn't want it replaced with anything right now. Like, I'm definitely willing to stay on board and just kind of see where it goes.
We did find out that Solomon spent some time as a Nazi at some point, which was kind of jarring.
Well, it's just, I guess if we're following around some evil motherfuckers, some evil characters.
Yeah, it's not out of place or out of character to expect that one of them or both of them may have done some pretty nefarious shit. Yet here we are.
You're right. Yeah, he is. It's almost like, even though we're following around somebody who was once an eater of children, the place where we're really shocked is like, oh God, the dude's a Nazi. Well,
wait till you see the priest without a pizzle.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think they understand that there's only so far you can go. And I'm glad that Salvatore, having been a priest, is just an eater of children only. That's accept. It's so weird where we draw the line with these things, but I can handle an eater of children.
He only eater to bad children's.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Diabolics, it's great. It's one of the best things in the Progs, and has been since it graced the pages and started throwing around these Dario Argento references. So yeah, totally happy with it.
So we're back with Dexter. We're escaping download. I know who is who still, and I know what's going on. They're going to go find the Lizard King, but they find genetically engineered Russian dinosaurs.
Yep.
Because why not?
Right. Yeah. So for you, how was this for you? Because for me, man, I feel like I'm jumping into like a little bit too negative territory too early on here, but I'll tell you, the emergence of cool looking Russian dinosaurs really, it just highlighted for me the fact that I am just out on Sinister Dexter, Sinister or Dexter, Sinister,
whoever this is.
Because like, I like a good Russian dinosaur, but no, I'm good.
You say that like it's a commonplace thing.
Yeah, whenever a Russian dinosaur comes into the mix, I mean, you've got. Yeah, but man, even Russian dinosaurs could not save this one for me.
It's only the first chapter.
Yeah, well, I've also read the next chapter too, though.
Well, so we're just breaking. Kayfabe does not live here.
No, because we listed both progs of the title. So,
all right.
Yeah, dude. This is how much, like, how far I've kind of gone from being interested in Sinister Dexter, where I'm just like, oh God, and like it's almost like they could bring in now. They could bring in Salvatore and his broken pizzle, and I would just be like, oh my God,
it's not broken, it's gone.
It's broken into oblivion.
Speaking of things that I'm not hooked on, Scarlet Traces is still here.
Yeah,
I just.
Okay, so I guess this is a good. So with Scarlet Traces, maybe for me, my Sinister Dexter was down. I'm not going to say I'm like hooked on Scarlet Traces, but this is a good way to sort of bring the thing back to like a cool ending, and I like what he does here, because basically, they're trying to figure out a way to stop this war, and they're going to end it with genocide and try to kill this alien race.
The classics.
The classics, yeah. And he goes like, let me go talk to him. Just let me go see if I can find some common ground. And I thought that was cool. And of course we get that really cool like art switch right at the end. Mm-hmm. Which I had totally forgot. Like, I think we got a little bit of that in the beginning.
That's how it started. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's like still high stakes. It's not action, but it's like, this will either work or you'll die or go mad. I don't know.
Or all three.
Yeah. And he takes the chance, and we go into a little Jack Kirby-ish kind of look again. But really the thing that I liked, and I guess we'll get there, was in the next chapter. I thought they did something super fucking cool for Scarlet Traces, and I guess we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, one I'm not in love with, but like there were elements. How about you? Was it just kind of a dud for you the whole way through?
I've been lukewarm on it the whole time. Like, I like the World of Worlds fan service. I really like that. but it's just there's not enough meat on this particular bone for me. And yes, go ahead and make your jokes. Insert bone joke here. No, and I've tried. Like there's interplay with these characters, and they're really well rounded. It's just not working for me, brother.
Yeah, sure. I got you. How's the out working for you?
I still love the out, and Sid did a sex.
Yo,
she banged analog David Bowie. I bet who amongst us would not bang analog David Bowie?
I mean, and it would be like analog David Bowie to find the ugliest woman in the galaxy and have sex with her.
Well, I mean, when you tried everything.
Yeah, man, it's so weird, man. I shouldn't like this. I shouldn't enjoy.
I know. I'm right there with you.
Should not enjoy the out as much as I do, but
here we are.
Here we are, man. And it's like Dan Abnett. They say it every week. I'll say it again. Dan Abnett is the master of the fucking craft, man. He's got me interested in this hippie chick wandering the galaxy, banging fake David Bowies. I don't know, man. It's great.
He's not fake David Bowie. He's just analog David Bowie.
Right. You know, like the artwork's great. The story's great. At the end of this chapter, tell me if I'm wrong here, but we've seen her daughter before.
Only glimpses. And this is
like,
no, wait, maybe she only talked about Joey.
I think what was great for this was like, either way, it was like, I knew Sid had a daughter. I knew that, you know?
Yeah.
But we've gone so long.
It was Francis Bacon.
I know. No, we've gone so far that I kind of forgot. And so I think what was really brilliant about this is when she sees her daughter at the end of this chapter and goes like, oh my God, I feel like it was intentional. That was kind of the seed was planted. And like, you know, she's so caught up in the wonderment of this, her fucking journey and all the things she's been through, that it is kind of like almost like, you know, she forgot for a second too. And then it's jarring when she shows up and you go like, oh my God, all of this stuff that we've been going through with Sid, we forget like she's a mom and she has this daughter that's, you know, when she died and woke up all those years later, like there's a whole another story that we get to explore.
And that last panel had a lot of pull for me because, you know, Sid had a lot of times, especially when she woke up from being unconscious for 40 years in a new body that wasn't hers, she woke up and realized that, you know, all intents and purposes, Joey was gone.
Yeah.
And to see her get this shot was a good moment for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. And it led to one of the most very interesting elements of this story, which I'm hoping gets fleshed out, which is explained more in the next chapter. But here they identify that there's not just the out, but there's the up. And when I heard about the up, I had a preconceived idea of what it might be. And when we start talking about it in the next chapter, it's like exactly what I thought it might be. And now it's very intriguing, very fucking intriguing.
Agreed. Because I have some concepts of what the up might be. So I guess we're going to find out if our concepts are conceptually in line.
Yeah. And so does that take us to the next chapter?
Yeah. 2259.
Wait a minute.
For fuck's sake.
Hold on.
Yeah. Play me the sample in the tin can. Oh no. He's going to do the whole thing.
This is Cursed Earth Radio.
Desperados and Jews and dick-shaped helmets. We're back again to talk about this week's exciting prog with the weekly Dredd.
All right, we've got the first chapter in Judge Dredd the musical. The Diabolics continue with London Calling. Dexter is still here. Scarlet Traces is also still here. And Sid has an uplifting revelation in the out.
And perfect timing. You've got your best friends in the world, in the whole wide world, Heavy Metal Kid.
Cool, Jonathan Cool. And you're still listening to Cursed Earth Radio.
Curse Earth Radio.
I just said that.
I wanted it to explode, though.
Keep listening, creeps.
You had to do the tin can sample again. Okay.
It sounds great on my end.
It sounds fuck awful on my end. So let me tell you something. I downloaded the Prog last night, and I wasn't really looking at the cover. I was looking at the title, and it said Jurassic Shark, and my brain went, "Oh, good, Hookjaw's back," and it's not.
No, but what cool. I feel like Jurassic Shark is a sci-fi original movie waiting to happen.
Jurassic Sharknado.
Yes. Oh my God. Could we have three of the most overused concepts in movies in one single episode? Maybe
Jurassic two-headed Sharknado.
Oh wow. Yo, this is a nice looking cover by I believe a person that I'm not familiar with at all.
Pronounce that name.
Tazio Betton.
You said it like you're asking me for verification. I got nothing for you, bud.
Nice looking cover of something I'm not interested in with little Misfits tribute on the cover. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did. Everybody loves the Misfits.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man, when I got into the Misfits in junior high, forever ago, you couldn't just go to friggin' Walmart and buy a Misfits shirt. That's so weird that you can do that now.
Yeah. Does that mean that the world is cooler or less cool?
I think if we're going by punk rock, less cool, because when I found them, there was no internet to find them. You just had to know somebody who knew somebody who could turn you on to an album, and you had to know a secret knock to get into the club. And it was a lot more digging back then.
Yeah. I like the dig. We both like the dig.
Which is why we're here reviewing 2000 AD in North America, where nobody knows what the hell we're talking about.
Right. Hey, listen to me on this one, man.
Listen to me.
This is my favorite thing that's happened in Judge Dredd in a long time.
Oh my God. Our dude, the sensitive Clegg, who has risen to heights of fame in Sino City for his amazing musical talents, has brought them to the Big Meg. And I am just so overjoyed to see his sensitive, scaly ass again.
Oh man, and he is wearing an old school tracksuit. He's going around to underground rap battles. He has released a record called Fear of a Clegg Planet and Judge Kisser. He's a hip hop artist. This is the best possible outcome for sensitive Clegg.
I want to talk to Rob Williams now more than ever about the Public Enemy and Body Count references on this one page.
Oh man.
The moon is forgiven. The moon is officially forgiven. The beef is squashed.
Man, I love this so much. So if you're not reading the normal progs and you're wondering what we're talking about, I can't imagine anybody sitting here listening to this that hasn't listened to progs, but I know we got a couple. Sensitive Clegg, who is one of the best like unsung characters from the more recent Dredd stuff, has started a rap career. He comes to Mega City because he was in Sino City, where he was worshipped mostly probably because he looked like a dragon, and he decided he wanted to try his musical career. It's not going over well, but now he has Judge Dredd, the musical that he's written, and he's trying to get it picked up.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. And he's going to star in it. I'm afraid, though, that this scumbag is going to take advantage of our sensitive Clegg. In fact, I know this Acton Crane is going to take advantage of him, because look at him. He looks like a dumbass.
He does.
And he's got a future bow tie.
I'm also really nervous for sensitive Clegg, because if you look at, there's a couple panels here where he's like in pitch meetings to different record companies. Or no, I don't know, record companies, probably different theater companies, but they seem to be appalled by what he's talking about. And I'm wondering if it's because in Mega City, it's like, I don't know. I think of Mega City in some ways as almost being like North Korea. And if you were going to do like a musical about Kim Jong-un or whichever one he is, you risk persecution from the military or from the police.
Yeah.
And is that what sensitive Clegg is getting into? Because it doesn't seem like it's an anti-Judge Dredd.
No, it's
musical.
Very much a pro Judge Dredd, because Clegg kind of sees him as a hero. It would be tantamount to somebody writing a heroic cop opera here in the States right now. It would go over just as well. But even fucking Otto Sump showed up in this thing. God damn it. Did you see him?
There has been
Ugh.
at some point an Otto Sump musical.
And it's just a theater full of people shitting themselves inside out because they have partaken of Sump products.
Oh man.
They eat a
Otto
bunch
Sump.
of Sump, they eat a bunch of guns, and they go on stage and just empty their bowels.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. This is my favorite thing in the Prog right now.
Oh my God.
Sensitive Clegg in his rap career.
I was so overjoyed to see our dude back. Chris Weston, as always, the art's amazing. I love the panel where the Clegg comes into the rap battle and he's going full tilt Shakespeare on these urban youths.
Man, I love the fact that he's wearing his tracksuit and he's got his big belly, and he just reminds me of like he would be hanging out with LL Cool J on his first record. Like he's in that kind of fashion, and I love it.
There's your Halloween show costume for next year, Sensitive Clegg.
Sensitive Clegg, yeah, 100%. I'm down.
All right, so I can't wait. I want more. Like this is one of those instances where I want the whole thing now. Like I don't all of this. Just give it to me now.
Fantastic. The Diabolics gives you more Nazi.
Yeah, he was even worse than I thought. Solomon was even worse than I thought. I mean, being a Nazi in and of itself, it's bad. I don't think I need to state that. Much like
Right.
I read an interview with Jeff Hanneman. I think it was when Raining Blood came out, and they were asking why he didn't directly state that Joseph Mengele was a bad person in Angel of Death, and Jeff went, "I didn't fucking think I had to."
Yeah.
You know. Right. But yeah, not only was Solomon a Nazi, but he was one of the worst possible Nazis, where he was carrying out Himmler's experiments on the quote unquote undesirables that were captured all over Europe. Yeah. And we find out that the leader of the collection was one of those quote unquote undesirables, and that Solomon was busy disposing of all his records when the Reds were taking Berlin. And by records, I mean he was murdering people, and he murdered this man's mother and sister and didn't get a chance to kill him because the bombs dropped on the bunker they were in. This got a real hard tonal shift in this one.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. I like that. I like that the Diabolics isn't afraid to approach some like, I mean, there obviously there's nothing offensive going on but even featuring a story like this is a little bit ballsy in 2021, because inevitably somebody in this story about Nazis could see the swastika and go, "Oh my God, you can't put that in a story."
Well, you can, because I mean, our two I guess they're still protagonists, but they are technically antagonists. They're terrible people, and they are mortal beings who delight in the suffering of humans, but have some good qualities because they're aligning with what they want at this point in their existence. Yeah. And it's not far-fetched to believe that those people at some point would have been into some really dark shit, hence being Nazis when Nazis were a thing.
Yeah. And I feel like at some point this will resolve itself as well. There's the Diabolics will take us to the place that this needs to go. The creative team behind this comic, like, I don't know, man. It's just a great. It's very refreshing not to have to just to see somebody just being like, yeah, this is what the story needs. We're putting it there. We're gonna let this be and not worry about somebody getting offended because we had any sort of Nazi imagery in our book. Like, it serves a purpose. It'll have its sort of its character arc, and we'll get where we need to go with it. And yeah, Diabolics does not worry about pulling punches, and I like it.
I've said this a million times, and I'll say it again. Dom Reardon's art is amazing. He does so much with so little. There's not a whole lot of line in his art, and it's flat black and white, but it's perfect, absolutely perfect.
Yeah, definitely. Probably one of my favorites in terms of like black and white art. I'm a big fan of what he's doing in this comic.
And it's never confusing. Like even when there's action, it doesn't get muddled. And that's really hard to do when you're only operating in black and white.
Yeah. Speaking of muddled action, Dexter.
Yeah, there's the Lizard King and there's dinosaurs. Yeah.
So did this one not hit for you either? Not at all.
I always try to keep an open mind about everything in the Prog, but man, I know during the last arc I said, man, I'm really interested. I might go back and start reading Sinister Dexter from Ground Zero. No.
It's a struggle. It's always going to be a struggle. This is our this is our stumbling block every time it pops into the Progs. Doesn't mean it's bad. Artwork wise, it's fantastic. Somebody has to love these characters because they keep returning. So that's great for anybody that digs Sinister Dexter. I don't know, man. I wish one of us could be a huge fan of this so that fans of Sinister Dexter could come here and get their fill of like hearing two dorks talk about Sinister Dexter. But I got nothing. You got nothing. And we're not here to shit on it. So what else?
Yeah.
That's about all we got.
Well, that leads us into Scarlet Traces, where we are in the inner space where our Martian friends are. And we do have that little revelation where they're kind of in human form in this space. And our visiting blue man tells them, no, this is your actual form. Because when what's his name, Shona, was merged with me, I absorbed all his bullshit. And yeah, this is who you are really before you just spent your life running. And there is something to that story that I find very relatable. Initially, we were afraid of this thing and we ran, and we were so afraid of it that we tried to obliterate the memory of it, but we held on to the fear of it.
Yeah, love it.
You know, we keep, that's our motivating factor now, was we know we're afraid, but we can't remember what of, so we're just going to keep being afraid.
Yeah, this one really redeemed itself for me. Like it was like I was largely like struggling to get into Scarlet Traces, and then there were a couple episodes where it almost did like played a little bit more into this side of things, the talky sort of relationship back and forth piece, and I was like, man, like there's an element there that gets me. Let's see if I can hang on to it, and I couldn't. But in this chapter, for sure, and the last chapter, it's like in this resolution, I found the same thing as you did. I found that really intriguing. I also thought it was super cool that they, as we're taking War of the Worlds, which is kind of like one of the quintessential, like old school alien invasion, sort of like, old, classic alien invasion movies. In this one panel here where he's explaining, you've changed your form so many times over millennia, you've butchered and twisted and warped your bodies. And behind him, there's all these examples. And what I love is there's all these examples from classic monster movies, like the robot monster. And like, I believe that's I Married a Monster from Outer Space there. And there's like, it's stuff that we've seen in, like in the meta, like 50s monster movies, like shit that you would see at drive-ins. And so essentially what this does in that one little, maybe it's an Easter egg, maybe it's just there so that we can go, hey, I know what that is. But I don't think so. I think very subtly they tied together every single creature feature 50s alien invasion monster movie that they could into one thing. So Invasion of the Saucermen is part of this. I Married a Monster from Outer Space is part of this. Robot Monster is part of this. I love it. I think that's super cool and it's clever, and they didn't have to expressly spell it out, but they just hit it in the panels, and that is really cool.
Yeah, and it didn't feel ham-handed or forced either. So
yeah. So for me, that's what I came from. I don't know if it's the art shift, but I just enjoyed this chapter the most of all of any of them that I've read up to this point. Maybe I just like where the story's going. I think it's really intriguing. I found that the actiony stuff was probably less interesting to me in this one.
Which is good because there hasn't been much action.
Yeah. It was like, well, like, I mean, like, I guess when I say action, I just mean like the space battle. Like, you know, we had a couple where it was just
there were
pretty
like
much
2 chapters of that, and then it's just this. And I don't mean this is a bad thing. I mean, just this is what it's been.
Yeah. No, I like this. I like where we're at right now.
Yeah, I like the idea, like that you've been running from fear so long you forgot what the fuck you were afraid of.
Yeah. Yeah. So this one was cool. This one, maybe in its, what do we got? Maybe 1 or 2 left. Probably 1 left.
Well, we're coming up on the year in Prog. That'll be what, usually the second, third week or so in December. So I'm guessing everything's going to wrap up here shortly, which is also a bummer because that means Dredd's going to wrap up. We're going to have a short run with Sensitive Clegg.
Yeah. Short run with Sensitive Clegg makes me sad. And then, of course, we probably got 1 more part of the out.
I'm guessing 2.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm guessing 2. But so the up is obviously a plane of existence that exists beyond the plane that Sid occupies, where normal rules of anything don't apply.
Yeah. You know, the up certainly to me sounds like what, you know, in this world, what Earth people understand as being heaven or the afterlife. And her daughter confirms that in saying, you know, well, you don't understand, like your time is not like my time in the up. And I watch over you the whole time, and I can go through your life like a book back and forth. And I've always been with you, even though you haven't known it. And it's almost like this idea that, you know, just as we saw like earlier on in this, like people don't process death the same way on other planets, where they're like sort of like, I guess we could say more highly evolved or whatever. Like they don't process death in the same way. And so it's almost like we just don't process the idea of the afterlife in the right way. Maybe it's like you said, it's more or less just the next plane of existence. Yeah, it was cool. And it's also kind of sad because that also tells us that in Earthling terms, like Sid's daughter died. She's dead.
Well, her physical form is dead. This is some kind of her manifestation of her spiritual form, and it can manifest itself in all ways to Sid, in ways that she perceives that Sid would have perceived her throughout her life.
Yeah.
But she still exists, just not in a corporeal form. Man, that's what the up is. It's non-corporeal. It's in no time and all time, all at the same time.
Yeah, and there's something about, you know, as we go through the revelation of that with Sid, and like I just found it really impactful. Like she's really processing it as if her daughter is dead. This is what's smart about this, is like she's finding out as we're finding out, like her daughter died. Like, and that's how she is processing this. And it's like there's still this idea that no, you just don't understand. It's not what you think it is. But she's grieving and she's just trying to hold on, and like she's not capable of processing it as something bigger or something else. And I felt as I was reading it and as we were going through it, like sort of at the end of the day, she's processing my daughter's dead.
And she desperately wants to stay there on that planet with Analog David Bowie, because that's where she and Joey can exist together, even though Joey keeps telling her that just by being here, I'm breaking the rules of the up.
Yeah, man, something. And then of course at the end we get the big shock that the Tankinar are coming back, and we know them, I believe, as the people that killed our beloved Kedge Dadalak
and Sid.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So maybe sometimes I forget that our protagonist has been killed once already.
Maybe we'll get to see some of Kedge's lineage again. Maybe they'll come to, finish the fight with the Tankinar. But yeah, I think they're only attacking this moon dust because Sid and Analog David Bowie did the horizontal mambo.
Yeah. There's something about this, man, that I love because it keeps redefining everything. It's just like this message of like our planet and our understanding is so tiny. And when you expand it, like people don't see death in the same way, they don't see intimacy in the same way. They don't see the afterlife in the same way, and like how small our understanding of what's really out there is, and at the same time how the like connecting with other human beings, how that is so important to a human. Like it's like this is really incredibly deep, and nobody talks about it. Like I
Well,
don't
we
hear,
talk about it.
yeah, I just mean, outside of the 2000 AD fandom, even within the 2000 AD fandom, I don't hear people going like, man, the out, like there's really something great about the out. Nobody really kind of talks about it. Nobody heralds it. And it's a much more impactful story than we should be getting in little 6-page bursts. No one thinks about that as being like, man, the out is really something fucking special. It is.
Very much so. Let me ask you this. If you're trying to get somebody turned on to 2000 AD and you're recommending stories that exemplify 2000 AD, what 5 non-Judge Dredd stories, like strips, would you recommend them?
I think from current stuff, obviously we're going to definitely put Proteus Vex in there because for me, it exemplifies there are new sort of, we call it intellectual properties, but there are new science fiction worlds being built every day for me that are incredibly intriguing and interesting. I would also maybe just because I'm in love with the artwork, and I would put Pandora Perfect in there because it's like,
okay,
here's your zany side of what 2000 AD has to offer. You know what I mean? Like if I'm trying to give somebody the like, here's what it is, and here's what you can expect. I don't know if we can count Dead World, but if I had that as an option, I'd throw Dead World in there because there's your horror side for people that like horror. I'd probably put Brink in there because for me, it's an incredible science fiction. Like, oh man, Brink is incredible.
It would be on my list too.
And do we put the out? Would the out be in there?
The out would be on my list because it subverts expectations.
Yeah, for sure, man. The out, every week I ask myself, how do I love this? Because it's not what I come to 2000 AD for, but man, and just like again, having a history of reading Dan Abnett's Warhammer novels and just knowing how this guy can take gods, these very, very unrelatable characters and make these things relatable and somehow make it interesting is amazing. And by the way, Johnny, someone in the chat, Crazy Dingo, says bring back Shakara. And I have both volumes, and I've been thinking like we really need to do an episode on those because that's a whole nother level of somebody just being like, I'm gonna make something real fucking weird and crazy and create my own universe. And the artwork is Proteus Vex ish, or maybe Proteus Vex is Shakarish. I don't know, but it's something cool too, and something that a lot of people talk about when you hear people say like, oh, what are some of the great 2000 AD things that never get mentioned? It's in there.
I've never read, and I would be more than willing to.
Yeah. There's, I think right now in the progs, if somebody were to go and just pick up a prog and start reading, like I feel like it's not hard to find something you like in there at this point, but man, there are a few that are like game changers stories for me. And I think the out is becoming one. It's just so strange for me because it has nothing that I want, but I love it.
Well, that's why I like it. Like neither one of us on paper would like the out given what we like, but it subverts all those expectations and gives you a really enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
I would put Defoe on that list.
Yeah.
For because that would be my horror entry. Definitely Defoe.
Defoe the Divisor is incredible.
Erdonazar will forever be a fond memory for the podcast because that's when we really started getting into it.
Yeah.
And of course,
we fell in love with Defoe because of the Divisor.
And of course, the Order, because Francis Bacon.
I'm looking for a guest reviewer when the Order comes back. I don't think I can take it anymore. I just don't know what the fuck's going on.
Francis Bacon. That's all you got to know. Francis Bacon.
I was barely hanging on to the Order.
You almost had a stroke when I said I knew it was Francis Bacon the whole time.
Hey, we're getting the Order whether we like it or not. So
yes, much like this podcast, you're getting it whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Oh, well, hey, I mean, overall, we're wrapping up the year on a pretty good note. I feel like we've had some great ones this year. I don't know if it holds up to last year for me because that was an incredible one. But then again,
I don't know. This year's been pretty strong, man. This year, if you look at the progs from January up through like April, May, that was a really, really strong run.
Yeah, we had a good run there where I was loving just about everything in the progs. So, I mean, that says a lot. And of course, we got some real greats like Pandora Perfect this year for me was one of the highlights. Obviously, more Proteus Vex. I mean, that's
Department K.
Yeah,
can't forget Department K.
These are all things we're gonna have to think about for our end of the year episode.
Oh yeah, we got to do one of those. I guess we should get the year-end prog out and then do our year-end wrap-up, and then maybe we'll get the hardware watch along posted this year for Christmas.
Don't hold your breath.
Jesus Christ. Hey, on that note, I guess that does it for us. This is Cool Johnny Cool,
Heavy Metal Kid,
and you've been listening to Wiener.
Keep listening, creeps.
We're still live.